Welcome, welcome. Dawn with Helis. Excited to be back with you today and share with you that there are so many different ways to heal. And one of the things that I think is really incredible is to notice when in your life there is some part or aspect of it that is the vehicle for healing. And what I mean by that, it's going to get you to the destination. It's going to elicit a healing response. And one of those areas is relationships. Oh my goodness. So I know for me personally that relationships, especially when you're in a really loving, sacred partnership, it's an opportunity to be witnessed. And it's going to bring up all your stuff, your shadows. It's going to bring up, also your gifts, the gold, whatever it may be. But one of the things that relationships do, oftentimes we choose our partners from an unconscious aspect of us. And depending on where you are in your journey in your life, so if you're at the beginning of, if you're near your 20s, let's say, or 30s, then maybe you're choosing somebody that unconsciously really represents a dynamic that you shared earlier in your life with your family, with your parents. I'll get into that. And as you mature, as you heal, you're probably going to start to notice some of the wounding that you have within you. And you're going to start to be much more aware and intentional with what you're choosing. But the thing is as you're first starting out in relationships, you're going to be attracted to the energy that feels the most familiar to you. So if you grew up in a chaotic environment that maybe had a lot of ups and downs and changes, then you might unconsciously be attracted to somebody who represents that energy. And what can be challenging is that over time, if you keep repetitively bringing in these type of partners that are maybe, you'll notice, avoidant, or they're unavailable to you, or whatever it may be, it could be the opposite end of the spectrum. It could be anxious. It's because you're trying to heal a part of yourself. And so something to consider when you look at your relationship space is, what is the pattern that keeps showing up? And what part of me, what age am I when I experienced a very familiar energy like this? So the earliest age is probably the better question to ask. And what you might find is that you are bringing in the same energetic environment that you had early on in your first most formative years from 0 to 7. And that might be playing out in your relationship space. A lot of times also people don't realize that they are mimicking their parents' relational dynamic. Maybe they're, being the mom in the relationship they have currently, or maybe they're being the dad, like they're playing out some dynamic that they witnessed because that's what you saw growing up. So to you, that's normal, right? There's nothing wrong with this. All of this I'm just saying is to bring some awareness of when you start a healing journey. Oftentimes it's because you want to do better in relationships. You want to figure it out. You want to feel safer in your relationships. You want a secure attachment style. So some really fun healings I've embarked on, because I definitely was chasing in my relationships, chasing my earlier childhood experience where my dad left when I was very early on, around, I think I was like 3 or 4 years old. And he had a very certain type of character and personality, and he was an alcoholic. So much of my earlier relationships have very much mimicked that, to the point I couldn't even see it, that I was choosing alcoholic people that were unavailable. And so it really opened me up to healing when I started to think about, well, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep choosing this? I'm a smart, intelligent person. I am a healer in my own personal life. Why do I not see this? And it was really becoming aware of the pattern first and foremost, and then asking myself, what is this similar to? And what is the earliest age that I experienced this? And then it really set me on this amazing journey of healing, because you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to keep repeating this. I don't want my partnerships to be just this continual repetition of my early childhood experiences. So some of the ways that I have helped myself heal is I had a relationship coach that was absolutely amazingly incredible. and really got to work on my attachment styles. So that was really fun, looking at my attachment styles. And secondly, I did a lot of constellation work. So if you haven't heard of family constellation work, one of my favorite books is by Mark Wolin, and I think it's called It Doesn't Start With You. And those tools and doing constellation readings, I'll have to do a whole nother video on constellation readings, but it was incredible to see what was being passed down through my lineage and what I was reliving. And patterns, if unhealed in your ancestors, they just keep getting passed down, and you're going to relive those relational dynamics and all the different things. And so one of the best things that you can do for yourself is to really have that awareness and start to do the deeper work to understand yourself. Every great relationship starts with a great relationship with you, with yourself. So I hope this helps. I just wanted to open your mind and start thinking about, yeah, of all there's so many different things that drive us to heal. Obviously, if we're in physical pain, but I believe one of the most ways to be very emotionally rich is through relationship, through partnership. And what's incredible is when you do start to heal some of these patterns and kind of understand your family constellation, the dynamics that you're working with, then when you are in a really beautiful, committed relationship, you can start to track when you're going into an old pattern, when you're going into an old wound. And so it's really lovely to be in a relationship where both partners are aware and can catch themselves, when they're kind of going back into some old dynamics and just course correct. So I'm curious to see, what have you tried when it comes to your relationships and healing? What are the different modalities you've tried? What has helped you on your path? I'd love to hear. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.